Y'all, I did yoga every day for 30 days, and I'm about to tell you all about it. So if that's not your thing, click away now. Hey there, beautiful. You're looking extra awesome today. Welcome, my name's TK. If this is your first time here on this channel, I just like to document ways in which I'm trying to live my life with more intention. I wanted to do something big to kick off 2020, so I turned to the best known and my personal favorite YouTube yogi, Miss Adrienne Mishler. So every January on her channel, Yoga with Adrienne, she shares a free 30-day guided class. And this year's theme was the return home. She uploads a video every day, and then it's paired with this very lovely and motivating email that made me feel part of a community, even though I was just practicing in my living room with the dogs and occasionally Dan. I'm not brand new to yoga. I have done yoga in the past and even at different points in my life regularly attended classes, but I've never committed to a consistent practice. And I was kind of hoping that this 30-day yoga journey would take me from intermediate beginner to inversion queen. And that didn't necessarily happen. But some other cool stuff did, like my back pain is almost non-existent, and I pulled off some poses that I never would have even attempted before. Here's how I was feeling in the first few days. Okay, so I just finished day 5 in my 30 days of yoga, and that, today's intention was to soften, and I genuinely feel the best I have all week. It has not been particularly awesome or easy. I was very sore and very, very tired yesterday. Today I feel a lot better. I feel like I'm finally catching that wave that she talks about, and I really connected today's intention much more than I had with the awaken or intend flows. Today I just wanted to soften my disappointment. I feel like I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself, and this workout really resonated with that. So it seems like I'm on my way up. One of my dogs cares less about my workouts. Connor is clearly still very interested in them, but I'm feeling good about where I'm at so far and looking forward to the future. Okay, so that was the end of my workout for day 10. I'm feeling really good. That was a nice short little one. It was under 15 minutes. I think that was the shortest one of the series. And I was a little worried when I pulled out the mat because my wrists have been very sore. I've had issues with my left wrist for several months now from serving. This is my tray hand. It's been a little weak, and last night not only was my left wrist sore, my right wrist is getting sore as well from compensating. But today there was no wrist work. Stayed on my feet the whole time. I'm feeling really great, really grounded, and the soreness and the lack of energy that I was experiencing earlier this month is starting to dissipate. I also haven't been drinking for a couple days, so I don't know if that's contributing to it, but this is the most energy I think I've had so far this year, so definitely digging it. I'm gonna keep it up. So the first 10 days went pretty well, but then things took a bit of a turn. Okay, so I just finished my day 15 workout, and I was so lazy that I didn't even set up in the bedroom. I just put on headphones and did it in the living room while Dan watched TV. So, not my most intentional of workouts. I'm feeling pretty shitty. I almost skipped it totally. I think I have a chest cold. Throat hurts, chest is heavy, difficulty breathing. Kind of a headache too, so not optimal conditions, but I did it anyway, and I do feel better than I did. I think I'm going to take a nice long hot bath. I'm a little concerned with my dedication while my sister and my niece are here. If I almost bailed today, it's kind of possible that I will bail between now and Tuesday, which is not 30 consecutive days of yoga, but she's pretty good about keeping me accountable, so we'll just see what happens. Hopefully I can stop this cold before it gets too much worse. Today's workout was
was really nice, actually. I ended up wearing 2 shirts. It's just like, that's how lazy I am. It was maybe a little harder than it needed to be because of that. But overall, feeling okay. See you on day 20 if I make it that far. Fingers crossed. I really hope I don't bail on this.
Good news, I did not in fact bail, and I had an excellent visit with my family. Bad news is I just picked up the nearest camera to record my reaction. You'll see. Okay, so I didn't quit, but I was in fact sick. So day 20 still is probably one of my favorite workouts so far, and it might be just because it was pretty easy. Very excited for bed. I think I'm a little regretful that I haven't focused as much on building core strength as maybe I could have, so I don't think I'm going to get as much out of this month as maybe I would have if I'd just tried a little harder. But no regrets so far. I did cut day 18 10 minutes shorter than it was supposed to be because I just could not hang, but I did attempt the video. So day 20, feeling under the weather, but committed. See you at 25. Yikes. But I wanted to include that clip because I touched on something that ended up being pretty important, and that is simply I was not as present on the mat throughout this process as I needed to be. With these practices that were centered all around the idea of returning home, I was banking on the mere act of showing up to the mat to yield the results that I wanted. And with that in mind, and knowing I needed to be a little bit more present, I tried to get more focused. Almost done. Nearly healthy. I have figured out, I'll try to stay still. I figured out a couple things that are keeping me more like in it during the practice. And I've discovered that like saying namaste directly to Adrian is much more fulfilling. It helps me like feel connected and less just like doing the thing in my living room. I'm starting to get a little concerned that I was not worried about my appearance while I recorded any of my workouts. Whew. So that's going to be a brave thing to put on the internet. But I did have this like lovely new connection with like looking forward when you move from belly to cobra yesterday. And it was like I finally figured out that move. 24 days in. I got it down. So it doesn't look quite as clumsy as it had when I reviewed previous footage. It's like one of those things like, oh yeah, that's how that's supposed to feel. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. And I'm entertaining the idea of keeping the streak up even after the 30 days are over. We'll see. Turns out the last day of a 30-day of yoga workout is a silent one. Adrian turns off her mic. She doesn't instruct you at all. Today's practice should have been closer to 40 minutes. I barely broke 20. I'm pretty anxious. Actually, I think I got the opposite effect of what I was supposed to in this journey home. And I think a lot of that has to do with me not being totally present in the practice. Beforehand, I was doing the moves right, but I was so anxious about what was supposed to come next and like not really trusting myself, worrying about doing it wrong, and then thinking about like all the other things I could be doing, then waiting for the next. So you know what feels right and what feels good right now is to just call it. Yeah, I think that's what feels good. I don't think I could get much more from just doing a flow on my own than what I just did. My final thoughts on my 30-day yoga journey in this moment are that I'm just gonna keep moving forward. I'm not as strong or as flexible as I would like. I definitely improved a lot of poses, but today I felt very anxious. And I think maybe some of that was stemming from a feeling of completion, like, oh, well, now I did it, I probably won't stick with it. And I hope that's not the case. I think I get a lot out of returning to my mat every day, taking a few minutes to just silence my mind, which I was struggling with today. So, namaste, Adrian, and the Find What Feels Good community. I will hopefully see you again tomorrow. Yeah, I know it's not necessarily the outcome I was hoping for either, but I wanted to give you a truly comprehensive and honest account of my experience, which includes me ugly crying in my car on the way to work an hour after I recorded that reaction. But since I knew I had to reset my mental space for work, I did a quick mental dump, and I realized I was looking at this experience all wrong. I think subconsciously I was hoping that by day 30 I would have fixed myself. That somehow by showing up every day for a workout for 30 days straight, I could cure my insecurity and anxiety, probably through this like rockin' model bod that I would have from my yoga practice. But in reality, I just gained 3 pounds. While I did learn a ton from showing up to the mat every day, I definitely didn't take it as seriously throughout as I could have. Not recorded were like the 11:30 p.m. workouts where I'm like kind of drunk and just going through the motions so I could count it. I wasn't focusing on the idea of truly like returning home and making being myself a safe space enough. I was just trying to check the box for that day. And I thought that if I could check the box every day for 30 days, which is something I've tried to do in the past and failed, that could be enough to produce like self-love. And while I learned a lot from that self-discipline, that's just simply not what happened. So the biggest lesson I can share with you is the one I just keep returning to, and that is that there is no easy answer. There's not a quick fix. And this was a true reminder that it's so important to be present and just enjoy the journey. And I really am so grateful to myself for showing up and trying. I did cut like those 2 days short, but otherwise I was there and I was at least doing it even if I wasn't fully mentally present. And there are awesome side effects, like my posture is greatly improved and so is my mood really. And I'll catch myself throughout the day repeating some of Adrian's mantras like head over heart, heart over pelvis, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, lots of love in, lots of love out, and it's helpful. And I'm not showing up to do yoga every day anymore, but I am rolling out that mat a couple times a week when it feels good and I know I can be more present. I really just hope you found this video useful, and I'd love to know what you're up to, if there's anything you've recently challenged yourself to accomplish. So let me know in the comments below if there is any way I can support you in that. Click that like button if you want to see more long form videos like this, and subscribe if you want to stick with me as I try to figure out how to live my life with more intention. Thank you so much for your time. Namaste, my friends.